right, here we go. Welcome back to Nights and Weekends with me, Marcus, your host, the one-man band on this side of the internet as always. Actually, I got something pretty sweet the other day. Here we go. See that? That's crazy. Thank you to whomever gave that to me. You'll always hold a special place in my heart. I got merch that my 29 folks will never know of, or at least be able to get anytime soon. But as you can see from the thumbnail, let's go ahead and jump right on into it. So I think that black people in particular should vote for Trump at a much higher rate than what we did in 2016 when I didn't vote for him because I didn't know the man's ideological core. I was more on principle than I was on practicality. Two, I hope that we come out and vote more for him than we did in 2020. All right, so we're going to go ahead and hop on into this. It's going to be maybe 3 to 4 major bullet points. Hopefully this video isn't super long, but for my Titanic video, that'll probably be next week. But this I wanted to hop on because I think it's extremely important that black people in particular show up in major numbers for Trump. So let's go ahead and hop on into it. All right. So Ed and Marcus, throw in the first clip in reference to how Biden views the whole trans issue.
To everyone celebrating Transgender Day of Visibility, I want you to know that your president sees you. Jill, Kamala, Doug, our entire administration sees you for who you are, made in the image of God and deserving of dignity, respect, and support.
As we can see there, that is where it is he stands, and that's where his administration stands. I could dig up a whole nother 5 or 6 tabs up here and bring up how they are changing the rules to where trans women, that is men who are transitioning to being a woman, okay, will be able to compete against women. That is who you vote for if you vote for Biden. But as we can see here, most black adults say gender is determined by the sex. I'm sorry, this isn't assigned. Okay, even the folks at Pew, because they're left leaning, this should be observed at birth.
I don't know when this was made, but it's up in the end of 2022. Sex isn't assigned at birth, it's observed at birth or before birth. I've said it a billion places at this point. So just that's point one. But
okay, it's not assigned at birth, it's observed at birth. So as we can see here, about 2/3 of black adults, 68%, say that whether a person is a man or a woman is determined by the sex they are. I'm sorry, I'm not going to give on the language here. That is observed at birth. Okay. A smaller share say the opposite, that a man or a woman, even if this differs from the sex they were assigned at birth, 31%. So blacks don't get down with the trans stuff. Okay. We are, for the most part, for the LGB part, hey, you can be lesbian, gay, bisexual. I personally don't think you should be beat up or harmed or shamed for it. That is your lifestyle. Fine. But I'm not going to buy into the delusion that you're the opposite sex. Ain't happening. And black folks in general are not buying into that, but we still overwhelmingly vote for Democrats. Next one I wanted to put in here. There is not a clip of this, but I'm sorry. As we can see here, belief in God by political party. The Republicans are about 90% fairly certain to absolutely certain. Democrats are 55%. I'm sorry, there are 76% absolutely certain to fairly certain that God exists. That's a big difference. And blacks are way more likely to be religious on average than the average American. Okay. Now, Marcus, throw in clip 2. This is something that just starched my my jeans back from 2020 onward. Throw in clip 2, please.
And I will never stop saying, not only do we need to disinvest in police, but we need to completely dismantle the Minneapolis Police Department.
So as we can see there, we have these idiots like the folks on the left, some of them, who want to dismantle or defund the police. And she said it. She said it. You cannot walk back from that. Okay. Now, this is an article from Reason. Black people overwhelmingly want to maintain or increase police presence. They also want better police. I'm also fine with that too. And as we can see, this is from May of this year. But let me scroll down just so that we can get straight to this. This is a quote in the article. But in their more recent study, they found that such fears coexist. However, counterintuitively, with that strong desire to keep or increase police presence and funding. According to their data, 81% of Black Americans who say they are afraid or very afraid of the cops want to maintain or increase police spending, while 78% of those respondent want to maintain or increase the number of cops in their community. So Black folks as a whole, we're not down with the defunding of the police, because we overwhelmingly as a group are disproportionately harmed by violent crime. So let's hop to that. So this is from, FBI statistics show a 30% increase in murder in 2020. More evidence that defunding the police wasn't a good idea. Let me say this again. I think that we're practical. I think black people are practical people.
Democrats may be cool, but they ain't practical. There you go. Republicans are practical. Black people are practical.
This whole defunding of the police, even the mantra, for someone's brain to think something like that is stupid. That would be like me saying, you know what, immune system, defund my immune system. Bad people exist. Okay? And it shouldn't take a 40-plus-year-old man to reiterate that to the average person on the street. Bad people exist, and when you lock them up, crime goes down. So, as we see, it went up. This is according to the Heritage Foundation, but they're right-leaning. Fine. Let's go to CNN. They actually attempted this in Minneapolis. Even Democrats are now admitting defund the police was a massive mistake. Now, let me give you a little bit inside baseball here. I read an article that spoke about this person in particular, City Council President Lisa Bender. All these people, the 9 folks who I'm going to quote here, who showed up to say that we need to dismantle and change the police department, all privately were like, hey, this doesn't make any sense. But they got up there because they're cowards. They're cowards. So this is what this person said, quote, "We committed to dismantling policing as we know it in the city of Minneapolis and to rebuild with our community with our community a new model of public safety that actually keeps our community safe," unquote. City Council President Lisa Bender told CNN at the time. And then again, in their own private text messages and stuff, they were like, this doesn't make any sense. So this was not in spirit, okay? And the person who is in office right now, the person that is our president, he actually did something right back in the 1990s, okay? Crime bill. Oh, now this is the thing that's so nice is that we actually have information. We actually have information from the time, okay? From the time. So according to a Gallup survey in 1994, 58% of African Americans supported the crime bill compared to 49% of white Americans. Most black mayors who were grappling with a record wave of violent crime did so as well, as he joined a delegation of mayors lobbying Congress to back the bill. Baltimore mayor at the time. Okay. So at the time they actually did believe in this, but for some strange reason, since the narrative in this country can easily be swayed and people in general are cowards, they don't want to stand 10 toes down on something, because if the popular narrative change, they go with it. They just put their finger up, see which way the wind's blowing, and they just go along with it. At the time, people agreed with it. And let us look at its effects. This is from Pew Research. So using FBI data, the violent crime rate fell 49% between 1993 and 2022, with a large decrease in the rate of robbery, 74%, aggravated assaults, minus 34%, and murder/non-negligent manslaughter, minus 34%. They were locking people up, bad people. Okay? Let me make sure I say this again. Bad people exist. Okay? And we have a president who wants to who he actually had some chutzpah and stood up somewhat against the defund the police people in his own party, but he is not very hard on crime. Trump is the hard on crime guy. And then lastly, at least for today, we'll jump into something else next week, because there's going to be a part 2 to this too. So immigration for black folks. This is something that I harped on in an earlier video, many videos ago, many months ago. Illegal immigration does not help us as black people. Okay. You can call it systemic racism as to why a bunch of us don't have college degrees, especially our men, that we don't graduate from high school at a rate that is comparable to Asians. I'm leaving white people out of it because for some strange reason, everybody seems to get triggered on that. Leave them out of it. We have a lower graduation rate than Asians. Okay. So as we can see here, using data drawn from 1960s to 2000 U.S. censuses, we found a strong correlation between immigration and wages, employment rates, and incarceration rates for blacks. Our study suggests that a 10% immigration-induced increase in the supply of a skilled group is associated with a reduction in the black wage of 4%, a reduction in black employment rate of 3.5 percentage points, and an increase in the black institutional rate of 0.8 percentage points. Among white men, the same increase in supply reduces the wage by 4.1%. Okay. And Biden added in markets to the rescue, baby. Let's throw this on in. Okay. Just so that you all can kind of know what that study was and where it came from. And I wanted to add one other thing in there. So as we can see here, this is the impact of illegal immigration on wages and employment of black workers. Page 26. This is actually from our government, by the way. A briefing before the United States Commission on Civil Rights held in Washington, D.C. Let us go. Now, that's among skilled workers. Among unskilled workers, which are the majority of people who have no high school diploma, because you end up thinking to yourself, if somebody's already dropped out of high school, things are already looking bad. So here we go. The economic adjustments unleashed by the large 1980s to 2000 immigration influx influx, a labor supply shock that increased the number of workers in the United States by nearly 10% and the number of high school dropouts by over 20%, reduced the employment rates of low-skilled black men by about 8%. Okay? So these things actually do have an impact on us. All right, back to present. Well, actually back to past, Marcus. All right, buddy. All right, buddy. Bye. Throw in the clip, Marcus, of clip 3.
I would, in fact, make sure that we immediately surge to the border. All those people are seeking asylum. They deserve to be heard. That's who we are. We're a nation that says if you want to flee and you're fleeing oppression, you should come. Within 100 days, I'm going to send to the United States Congress a pathway to citizenship for over 11 million undocumented people.
As we can see there, he was perfectly fine with letting these people storm the border and letting them get on into the country. So as we can see here, since Donald Trump was out of office, this is from the Washington Post. So you can go jump off the cliff if you have a problem with the source. I'll use your sources. But here we go. U.S. Interior Immigration Enforcement. This is them catching people and deporting them if they commit a crime, or if, I don't know, you go shut down a Tyson chicken plant, whatever. Look at this. These were the people being deported under Trump. And then Joe Biden gets in office. Way down. Now, let us scroll down here just a little bit more. This is very interesting. Number of migrants allowed to temporarily enter the United States through immigration parole by year. You see this? Low. Kind of high. But then we get to this. These are just the folks who are just paroled into the country. So this is probably what, 2-something million folks that they know that are here, that they just allowed in. And there are reports, and it's actually kind of funny. I tried to look up an approximate number. The Washington Post, etc., the factchecks.org, they are extremely silent when it comes to getting somebody on the case of how many illegals got away and everything else. But apparently it's anywhere between 5 to 10 million illegal immigrants who entered this country. And that's a combination of illegally. Again, these are illegal. That means that they should not be here. Okay. So that has happened since Biden has been in office. And the only thing I'm going to leave out on this. There's going to be a part 2 to this also, just FYI. But black folks as a whole are not down with the trans movement. 2, black people as a whole are not down with dismantling or defunding the police. Black folks as a whole, for some strange reason, for a while there, we were perfectly fine with letting any Tom, Dick, and Harry come into the country. But now we're starting to wake up a little bit and say, no, you got to go back. I'm sorry. But we do not get down with any of this. But a lot of folks who I know in my own everyday life, who I hope I can persuade, but I doubt it, they're going to still show up to vote for this person. They're going to still show up to vote for Biden. I hope that more people choose to vote for Donald Trump. If we can actually clamp down on the borders, we can actually make our streets safe and lock people up. Okay. I'm sorry. I am not part of this brigade of idiots who thinks that we can, that we should let criminals out of jail. Are you kidding me? And especially violent criminals. No. Okay. Vote for Trump, please. Please. Please, please, black folks, vote for Trump. All right. See you in a week.